Welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast. This is where Matt shares all his ideas on how to be happier, more successful, and enjoy life to the fullest. Please go to mattogradycoaching.com and thelivinggratitudebook.com to learn more and receive your free micro-coaching session with Matt. Enjoy part 2 of this episode.
If I get to one more, I'll be really happy about it, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get 2 or 3 out next year. So without activity, none of that exists. So I'm super psyched and pumped, and hopefully get to hear from you about how creativity, it's just a beautiful word too. How feeling that creativity process inside you works. I'd love to hear about that. And if you give me some feedback, I'll be happy to share some during the podcast in the future. Of these 1,000 things to be grateful for. So, I'm going to go to the next one, which is kind of a segue from what I'm talking about with this tribe, because I'm super grateful for you guys, and that's my tribe. So being grateful for our tribe, our community, our family, our friends, the people that we interact with. I'm a big relationship guy. It's super important in my life. Absolutely love cultivating the close friendships and close family relationships and even close co-working and client relationships that are possible. Joy, I receive joy from my relationships. That's one of the main paths that I feel love and like to express love and receive love and give love. It's just so important to me. So, let's call this being grateful for relationships. Because even if you just listen to the podcast and I've never heard from you, which is totally cool, I've listened to hundreds of them, never reached out to the people. I totally get it. But I want you to know the door's always open. I also want you to know that we still have a relationship, right? You're still listening to my voice. Voices are very intimate aspects of who we are. You can hear the vibration in my voice. And the sensitivity of your ear, allowing my voice to come into you and visit with you. I like to think of that when I do these podcasts, just so you know the sense that I'm getting. I mean, it depends on the day exactly, but from the night, I feel like I'm sitting around a table with a few of my closest friends, having a delicious cup of tea on a warm, breezy fall day. And we're just sitting in my living room by the fire, hanging out. And it's warm, probably in the, low 50s, mid 50s. So you need the fire inside, but you could still go outside and really enjoy the weather, maybe with a light sweater, or something like that. That's the day. That's what I feel like. I feel so good, so cozy, so connected when I'm leaving these podcasts. So our relationships, our community, our tribe, our communication is super important. So, we could break it all down. I'm going to leave it as one, because each one of these, are always going to have like subsections. But a lot of those may merit their own kind of focus within the podcast. So we're going to call today relationships, but, we'll probably go into community and tribe and communication, a few other subsets of this one in the future, along the path to 1,000. I have no idea how long it's going to take me, by the way. It could take me 10 years. I doubt it. It could take me a couple of years, though, for sure. But I think it'll be a fun, ongoing project, and one that I hope to share with as many people as possible, get them excited about gratitude as well. So I don't know about you, but, yeah, my relationships really matter to me. The people that I love the most, even if I don't get to talk to them all the time, I've got this circle of maybe 15, 20 people, some of which, I only talk to a few times a year. But those relationships are super important to me, a lifelong friendship type of relationships where we've been in touch for decades, or at least a decade plus, and we're just tight now. We don't talk every week, we don't talk every month, but we're sure to talk at least a few times a year, because when the years go by, it doesn't feel good to us, and we want to connect, and we'll either see each other in person for a full day or a weekend, or a long, awesome dinner like I did with my tremendous buddy Dave up in Boston a couple months ago. We did like a 4-hour catch up. We hadn't talked in like 2 years, and it was awesome. Those relationships are super important to me, and my life is built on them, really. Because then I've got the other core 5, 10. That's like my immediate family and my next level of family, and super close friends that I talk to much more often. Sometimes I don't talk to them for a few weeks or a month or two, but usually we're not in that other category. So I've got this kind of layered thing, and I've never even really thought about the details of this before, but I see these kind of, in my mind, like concentric circles of my community. And, it goes into my relationships with coworkers and clients. Family, friends, coworkers, clients, vendors, that kind of thing. And sometimes these relationships can be really amazing. I mean, sometimes these people are some of the best people. I mean, I've made some of my best friends today from business connections from 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they've just continued on to now. Some of them go, the guy who gave me my first bartending job when I was 19, I'm still friends with him. He's in that, like three times a year spot, just an amazing human being, and very generous, extremely generous, kind guy. And it's one of those things. Of course I want to stay in touch with him. I want to help him anytime I can and be there for him and let him know how much I appreciate what he did for my life at a young age when I was looking for abundance, and he helped me receive it extremely quickly. Very thoughtful and kind guy. So, our relationships, our circles, our tribe, our community can circle out into all different areas of our life. But what an amazing thing to be grateful for, to stop and just focus all of our love and appreciation and thankfulness towards those people who enrich our lives the most, whether we talk to them often or not, whether they're family or friend or not, and maybe they're a coworker, maybe they're a vendor, maybe we go to their store, or they come to ours, or whatever the case is. But, if they're really a benefit to our lives, a positive thing in our lives, why not be grateful for them? And I'll tell you, taking the time to specifically focus on them and appreciate them, even if it's like 30 seconds, I guarantee you will bring immediate results. I do. That's how I stand by gratitude. I guarantee it, because when it's done authentically, I've never met anyone, but about hundreds, if not thousands by now, people I've talked to about gratitude, appreciation, and thankfulness. Never met one that didn't think it was a powerful choice in their lives, that whenever they were grateful, it was something good in their lives, even if it was just a few moments. Although I recommend many more moments, consecutive moments, leading to minutes, because then we get to really see the power that it can have in our lives. Once we're getting up to 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of a gratitude practice, writing in a journal or reading stories about gratitude, we're like immersing ourselves in gratefulness. All of a sudden, the abundance and joy and inspiration in our lives really starts to increase as well. At least that's what happened for me, and it's happened for a lot of the people that I've worked with and feedback from clients. So we're just going to, the first two are creativity and relationships. Those are pretty awesome. Let me just check our time here. We're going to get one more in. Awesome. Today's a little bit of a long one. Let's see. What is... Yes. So I'm going to start off with this. I might throw in some detailed ones along the way, but I'm going to start off with, the first few dozen, really trying to focus on like the main kind of core foundational aspects of being grateful that I find are available in just about anyone's life. so they're really easy to access and focus on and become grateful for. And one that I'm going to choose now, that if you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time, you know I'm grateful for the breath. I'm really super grateful for my breath. I just took a drink of water. Super grateful for water, too, and the cup that's in it and the table that's holding it. Everything else, you see how you can get that string of gratitude going? All in like one moment, boom, you just see the string of gratitude, the path of beauty that's in our lives that we can access and focus on, and then have blossom within our hearts, that we then feel good and share that feel-goodness with the world, with our family, our friends, the people we meet along the way. It leads to doing nice for someone else, leads to paying it forward because we've got that abundance of beauty and gratefulness in our lives. And the breath is one of those gifts that clearly keeps on giving, does it not? Have you ever been sick with like a chest cold? How did you feel those days when you get that real heavy, or if you've ever had like a bronchitis or a pneumonia or some other lung-related ailment? Forget about it. It's terrible. Life immediately becomes terrible. I mean, let's be honest. There are some amazing people that have overcome like really heavy lung sickness to still lead great lives and powerful lives. So it's still possible, people with half lungs and all that. But let's be honest, is that something we want to have to go through? Let's just be honest for a moment. If you have healthy lungs, let me tell you, your life is good. Your life is really good, because it's one aspect. Hey, I know you might have other tough things, and I totally get that, and I totally respect it. However, that deep breath that I just took, I got big lungs. I've been breathing deep for a long time, even before I started meditating and all that, because I was a swimmer, and I loved growing up as a kid. One of my favorite things to do every summer for hours, sometimes in one day, was practice holding my breath. I loved, timing myself, and my lungs got big. And then at other times in my life, I'd run long distances. I used to run half marathons. I've never done a full marathon, but I might someday, just for the experience. But, there was a period of time in my life where I ran and I ran and I ran. After I got out of the military, I just needed to run, needed to process. And my lungs got so big, because I was also doing kind of intense hiking and running in the mountains and higher altitudes, and I just loved it. And it really expands. If you look at me, my chest is, that upper area, you could tell there's big lungs back there. And I love breathing. I love the experience of the breath. I love noticing it come in and out. I love the cycle of it. I love that it's bringing oxygen and nutrients and goodness to my body, to my blood, to my organs, to my brain. So when you just start thinking about all of these things that your breath does for you, activity and healthiness that it's bringing to our lives, and I didn't even get to meditation, right? Because, of course, I'm going to do a focus just on meditation, so we'll get more into the breath then as well. But come on, the breath, our relationships, and creativity. Yeah, creativity, some say that's the power of the source, right? That it's the ultimate creative power. And we talked about our creator, right? And then what do we care most about in life? For most of us, relationships, our families, the people we're closest to are the most important thing. So I'm not alone there, am I? And then, of course, your breath, your life is really full of something good when your lungs are healthy, happy, and doing all the good stuff that they do for us. Breathe in deep. Listen to your heart. Love yourself. And stay in touch. MattO'GradyCoaching.com.
Thank you again for joining us on the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast. Until next time, please go to mattogradycoaching.com and theliving.gratitudebook.com to learn more and receive your free micro-coaching session with Matt.